seriously, I can't go out tonight. Okay, I have my biggest med school interview ever tomorrow morning.
Jeff Chang, you're 21 years old, man. Your asshole dad isn't here anymore.
Gentlemen.
Holy fuck.
Nice to see you again, Dr. Chang. How's Kathy? I mean, Mrs. Chang. I mean, Dr. Mrs. Chang.
You still owe me $17.50 for that hole in my fence, Altman.
Really, that was from like 8th grade.
Today's guest made his Broadway debut as part of the amazing original cast of Spring Awakening and went on to star in films like the aka awesome Pitch Perfect and the raunchy 21 and Over, which just opened in movie theaters. Please welcome Mr. Skylar Astin.
Thank you so much
How you
for having
doing?
Me, Paul.
It's so good to see you.
It's been a really long time.
Where the hell have you been?
I've been on enemy territory. I've been in Los Angeles. But it's great to see you.
Yeah,
you know, when we used to hang out, you used to always be behind the camera, and it's great to have you in front of it finally.
Well, you're in front of a lot of cameras now too.
Right, which at that time
that?
I was pretty weird. I was always stuttering. I was like, yeah, Spring Awakening is to play about the play. You know, I had no clue how to do that.
So I saw this movie, 21 and Over. I saw it this morning. Let's sell some tickets here.
Okay.
The movie literally opens with your ass.
Oh yeah.
You're naked. That's not an ass double.
No,
That
you
is
can't.
you.
You can't cheat that. That's a crane shot. Because it starts with my
Right.
butt and then it pulls back and you just see my entire silhouette walking through University of Washington.
Is that, that's where this
99%
happened?
naked. Yeah, University of Washington.
So is that terrifying
It's pretty scary.
to know that everyone's looking at your ass today in theaters around the country?
Oh, now it's done. It's out of my hands. The scary part was right before we did it. It was all the talks that went into it, all the like sensitivity, like, hey, so just you know, the scene's coming up and blah, blah, blah. And then like the directors, who were the coolest guys ever, just like, listen, let me just talk to you straight. Nobody cares about seeing too much of you. So if the sock falls off, we're not going to use it. You have nothing to worry about. Because I'm like, oh my God, what if this thing falls off? Like then I'm full frontal, you know what I mean? But, you know, it's cool. I mean, they try to say that it's going to be a closed set and that there's going to be no one around, but it's an active campus. We're on the quad. And they're like, don't worry, we'll have PAs telling people to not, you know, record things. And listen, like you can't avoid that at all. So.
Well, since you brought up the sock, you're literally just wearing a tube sock.
Red Hot Chili Pepper style. So that's like.
Right, exactly.
Yeah,
Covering your junk. Covering your junk.
Appendage, yeah.
So how does that get attached? Give us some Hollywood magic. I wanna know
It's just a sock. It is two-sided tape and a prayer. And please God. And every time you take a step, it just feels like it's gonna fall off, and you do that like leaning thing. And thankfully, it never fell off.
Right.
You gotta will it to stay on.
So were there a lot of crunches happening?
There were some crunches.
University of Washington campus right before filming this?
There was some cardio. I ran by the water because I had a really nice hotel in the water, and I would run. But it's crazy because once you start filming, there's no time to work out, and you're on your feet for 12 hours a day, which is enough exercise anyway, but you're just exhausted after filming. So there's great food there too. So it was really like before I found out, like when I found out I got the role through like getting to Seattle, that's when the diet kicked in.
So this movie is not just about you naked. This is actually a really funny.
Wait, what?
It's actually a really funny movie.
Okay.
It's by the guys who wrote The Hangover, one of the writers of The Hangover. And it's about these three guys, and it's one of those crazy nights, you know, you follow their crazy adventures through the night.
Yeah, it's like a one crazy night movie.
Yeah.
And you know, there have been these kinds of movies in that genre, like The Hangover and like Superbad and even like Harold and Kumar.
Right.
And you've seen college movies, you've seen adult hangover movies. But what sets this apart, I think, is that it follows those themes, but also you have the milestone of turning 21.
Right.
And what pressure that's like, especially in America, where the drinking age is 21, to just like let it all out. Right. And it's great to see like one resist that and the other ones encourage it, and the things that kind of happen around them.
You play kind of the pulled together guy. You're the guy who's in college and finishing college and already has a job lined up.
Right. I just went to, I go to Stanford, I have like a job in New York ready to go. And that's the thing, is a lot of people think I'm one of the crazy friends who comes and holds this guy against his will. But the truth is that it's actually me who's the only one that's logically trying to make this night end properly and make sure that Justin Chan's character, Jeff Chang, can get to his med school interview the following day. But what's really great, and what I love about like the journey of this character, is that he's a bit of an overthinker, I think he takes life a bit too seriously,
Yeah.
and it's not that age appropriate. So through his oldest friends, you could kind of call him on his BS and also stand by him. He kind of learns to just like have fun and realize that like he's young and he's got his whole life ahead of him. So to not sweat the small stuff so much.
What about you? You seem pretty you're pretty driven, right? I mean,
Yeah.
But did you? I mean, how old were you when Spring Awakening opened?
18, I think,
Right.
or but like 17 when the off Broadway was
Right,
happening.
Right, young.
So young.
Young.
Yeah.
So do you let loose, or are you very like driven about your life and your career? And
I think
path?
I've always had a solid balance of both. I think that's
Yeah.
like the key to let's like work hard, play hard kind of a thing. Yeah, I'm definitely. Yeah, I got a really like. I never had a college experience, like a true college
Right,
experience on
right.
on that kind of level. So filming Pitch Perfect and 21 and Over back to back on college campuses, kind
Yeah.
of, I lived vicariously through that moment, and I feel like I've now finally like met a solid middle ground and got it out of my system. But yeah, I mean, I've always been very career driven. It's very important. I was raised right, so
Yeah. 21 and Over was actually filmed before Pitch Perfect.
Exactly.
This was filmed like in 2011.
Yeah,
right.
It's bizarre how films
Hollywood
do that.
is so nuts.
It's pretty weird. I mean, they were telling me, I've heard that like films get shelved for years or they never come out. So I kind of always have that. It's kind of like when someone tells you you're going to Broadway, you're like, well, I'll believe it when I'm
Right.
like bowing on opening night kind of a thing, because just things happen.
Yeah.
And it was the same thing. It's like, yeah, you know, hopefully people will see it. And it's like, of course people are going to see it. It's a big movie. And you're like, well, you know, that depends.
Right. So you have these two big movies, and I've noticed that both have projectile vomiting in them. Is this something
That's
you look
true.
for in scripts?
Every time I get a script, it must have some semblance of regurgitation, or else I just won't do it. I'm doing an exorcism movie next. I'm really excited. They just vomit out the devil, which is exciting.
Do you think that Broadway needs like a good like one of these raunchy like young guy things on Broadway? Do you think we should like try to get one of the? I mean, Book of Mormon sort of has a lot of this kind of humor.
Yeah,
but
and like
do you
American
think we
Idiot
need
had
like
that-
socks on crotches and projectile vomiting? Should we try to get this on Broadway?
We could like bring Full Monty back and just set it in a college town. I don't know. I mean, listen. I never knew that something like a Book of Mormon would happen in
Right.
in that fashion, and
Right.
even American Idiot, and of course Spring Awakening. It's like maybe 21 and Over the musical. Would you guys see it?
Or Pitch Perfect the musical?
Pitch Perfect. See, that's a little bit easier
See,
to
that'd
sell.
be pretty. That's kind of natural, right?
It's got to happen. I'm sure that's.
Do you think that's gonna happen?
I'm sure that'll happen.
Why don't you? Let's just make.
Listen,
that happen.
guys. I'm sure that'll happen.
How are the fangirls? I mean, you've done two like. I mean, Pitch Perfect really took off.
Right.
And I see there's a lot of stuff online, like, you know, like the Tumblr world, and there's all sorts of like, you know, girls like writing like fan fiction.
Oh, really?
I've noticed
Yeesh.
this about like certain people who come on here, like Aaron Tveit has the same thing.
Oof,
like there's
I'm
just
sure.
there's all this like madness. So you don't like sit
Is
at
there
home
any
and
fan
you don't-
fiction about me and Aaron
You don't.
in Rent?
There might be, there will be after this.
sure.
Write it, people.
I don't know if I should encourage that, but
But it made me wonder, you know, then there's like animated GIFs, you know, like things you do, like just
Right.
repeat it on loop. And it made me wonder why you did like 20 minutes in a movie wearing nothing but a sock, because it's going to be all over the internet. And there it is, it's on the internet.
I hear there's a couple already.
Oh, really?
It opens,
Yeah, like it's just gonna be
now.
everywhere.
I don't know about the GIFs and those things. I try not to like think about
Yeah.
the things that surround the film while I'm filming, but
Right.
for sure that came into my mind. Like, oh my gosh, my Google image search will probably
Yeah.
consist of 99% nudity screen captures,
Right.
because these days it's immediate. And
Right.
once the DVD comes out, they could get it in HD. I mean, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah. What's really cool is that people like you you have a beautiful singing voice. We all saw that in Spring Awakening.
Thank
And it's so cool that like there are these projects like Pitch Perfect where you actually get to use these talents. And,
Yeah.
I mean, when that script came your way, you must have thought, oh, wow, this is pretty incredible. This is right up my alley.
Yeah, I loved it because I think that it also had a unique style.
Yeah.
And sometimes movie musicals, they don't necessarily focus on the comedy first. And what I loved about this film was that it made me laugh hysterically, and even the kind of how it was in on the joke and kind of like we're the coolest people ever within this like not so cool group, I
Right.
thought was really funny. and just the ridiculous, like, unapologetic things that you do with your face and your sounds when you're doing a cappella music, I think is just hilarious, and kind of has like this weird boy band cool factor to it also.
Yeah.
So the showrunner for 30 Rock wrote it, Kay Cannon, and then I heard Kendrick was doing it, and Rebel, who I knew from Bridesmaids, and I was just like, I was doing everything I could. And I actually left the set of 21 and Over on a Saturday to do a chemistry read with Anna for my final callback. So
A chemistry test.
a chemistry test.
How'd that go? It must have gone well.
It was horrible. We had no chemistry. You know, it was crazy. It was interesting because you meet her, and she could have, she could have been one of those actresses that kind of, phones it in and whatever. But she was super cool. I asked her before we read. I said, "Is it okay if I like touch your face during the scene? I just want to make sure." And she was like, "Dude, I don't give a crap. You can do whatever you want, And that just made it so comfortable. So already we had this witty banter, and then yeah, I laid it on thick, because my character does anyway. He's like willing to be turned down.
You laid it on thick to Anna Kendrick.
Anna Kendrick, for sure.
Yeah, yeah. How'd
In the
that go?
chemistry read, it got me the
You just
part.
got right under your spell.
I don't know if Anna liked it, but other people liked watching it. So that's what I needed for that stage.
I was actually thinking that you two could have been awesome in the last 5 years. Movie.
Yeah, they're doing a film version of that.
Yeah,
and
she's in it.
I don't think it's going my way.
That would have been good.
I mean, listen.
there's a lot of talented guys out there.
Yeah, but you got to hear me sing that music, dude.
Well, let's do it.
I'm kidding.
Hit it.
Yeah. No. You gotta. It's got to be on the big screen, or the small, or I'll just do a YouTube video.
Any other like shows that you really would love to like tackle that music that you just love?
I mean, I love everything Sondheim. Always have.
What would be your dream Sondheim role?
George?
Has
Has
that'd
to
be good.
be. Yeah. What else is there?
That can be like in like 15
yeah.
years.
Yeah,
we got
for sure.
time.
Who would be Doc?
Tell me.
Leah. Oh.
I was
You heard
actually
it
one of my
here first,
questions for
folks.
later was what show should you do with her? So there we go. Sonny the Prodigal George, Broadway revival,
I think it's
2024.
2025. Okay, I was going to say
2024.
Well, it's December 2024. Previews begin in December, and then it opens in January.
2025 Tony Awards.
Yep.
Front runner as George.
Yep.
It's me versus. I like
it's me
this.
versus Raul Esparza. Actually, we're the two favorites.
Nice.
Not for George. He's doing something else. I don't know why I went with Raul Esparza. I just think he's
It's
great.
all right. It works. It's been amazing watching the Spring Awakening cast. It's so great to see so many of you find these great paths. You were actually one of the first people to sort of book something big when you got that movie, Hamlet 2.
Yeah.
Which was a big Sundance hit.
Right. I was only on a leave of absence from Spring Awakening at the time.
Okay.
What I loved is like the contract. There was like a hair segment, the hair addendum, to the contract that I have to maintain the limits of the Spring Awakening hair, so I can't cut into it. I can only grow, beyond it. That's why my hair in Hamlet 2 is so like whatever, because it's covering,
Let's talk about that hair. That
now
hair
infamous.
You did a lot of. Everyone asked you about your hair when you were doing Spring Awakening.
Yeah, but
I think
now
I
it's
asked you
been
about
like
it
6 or
about
7
18
years.
times
Right.
About the process to do it.
I'm finally ready to talk about it again.
It's not.
I'm finally at the place where people don't see me and they're like, "It's crazy. I don't recognize you without the crazy hair." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm a normal person, so that's cool."
Was it like, oh, this goddamn hair? I wish I could just cut it off.
Listen, this is the best experience of my life.
Yeah.
I'm forever grateful for that musical and for the friendships I've made.
Yeah.
But I hated that hair so much. And I loved it for 2 hours, 2.5 hours a day when we were doing the show. It was amazing. It got a laugh sometimes when I just stood up.
Yeah.
But everything else that surrounded that hairdo was just brutal.
Was it crunchy?
You know?
It was like hard, right? It
You
was
could
like
knock on it.
Yeah.
You could wear a hat, which I did in the show,
Right.
and then take it off, and it's perfect
Right.
for Song of Purple Summer.
Right. Yeah.
So there you are.
That cast, the Spring Awakening cast, we obviously know and love those people. What was it? And I know you were dating Lauren Pritchard at the time. Very like publicly, you're like, well, we're also a couple. We're a couple
young
too.
lovebirds, like loving it.
What was that like, being so young on Broadway, and then like everyone knowing your business? And
I think I was just like, I think we were so happy, you know what I mean? And it was so publicly known amongst the cast that it was like, we all had such big mouths anyway. It's like, it's bound to come out.
Right.
But it was such a lesson for me to know that like when you do that, when you come out about it once, it's going to be constantly asked.
Right.
And there were times where she and I would even be like, hey, I mean, it's crazy that this is like, you know, we're like this pair with this match. But we actually are very good friends. I mean, I'm great friends with everyone.
Yeah.
And her album, I've heard her second album, and it's phenomenal.
Yeah.
And John, you know, I keep in touch with everyone, but Lea and I hang out a lot in LA, and Graf and I recently collaborated on a little project.
Tell me about it.
And it will never be seen, but it was one of the funnest things I've ever done.
What was it?
He asked me to sing with him at his friend's birthday party in downtown LA at some like big loft party, and a lot of like industry folk there, but just a lot of like good friends. I'd never met this guy, but John said, it's a crazy idea, but I really want to sing with you, because it's an inside joke with this guy, so I really want to sing Let Me Be Your Star from Smash. You play Megan Hilty, I play Catherine McPhee. And we did it in a men's key, down the octave, which is a horrible, horrible place to sing that song. And it was a big hit.
A big hit.
Ben Brantley said it was the best thing he's seen since Mormon. So it was really great. But it was like we were rehearsing in my car with a karaoke track, just really trying to like dig in. And we'd be like, but Megan does more of a broad. Okay, great. And we're like really doing it. We're like, what are we doing? Who would have thought that we'd be like that little anxiety, like before you do a staged reading or a workshop, that like, oh my God. Because I get more nervous singing in front of 30 people rather than 30,000.
Oh, really?
Just, yeah, because it's like you see their faces.
Right.
You don't get lost in the crowd of it all.
Which is why you wouldn't sing last 5 years right here now.
Exactly.
It's way too small of a crowd. But
Exactly.
if we got like 10,000 people.
But if we did it at the Hollywood Bowl, you know, if we did it anywhere else, I would be like digging
So
in
there's
right
no
now.
video of this? There is video of this. Of course there's video of this.
There's always video of it. You know,
there's nothing
these
on
days,
YouTube. None of the wedding. None of the people in the crowd were
they were all
videoing
filming it.
It's gonna be on YouTube any minute.
Any minute. Might be there already. I don't know. I haven't looked. I haven't YouTubed myself in a
Do you
while.
don't YouTube yourself?
I don't.
You don't like watching yourself through the years and.
I'm gonna watch this.
Okay.
Because I go on Broadway.com all the time anyway,
awesome.
so I've seen show people.
You could talk about that, about how much you love Broadway.com.
I love Broadway. I always have.
All right, awesome. Thank you.
But yeah, I don't really do that.
No. What other kind of shenanigans were happening at Spring Awakening now that it's all these years later? Who else was screwing around with who? And come on, let it all out.
Let's just because this is
uncensored. Spring Awakening uncensored.
Because this is not recorded, right? So I can tell you anything. You know, listen, we were young, we were successful, and we were all in this like intimate journey together. The show dealt with sexual things, so sure, there was a lot of love.
Yeah.
But you know, more than anything, we were just a big family.
Yeah.
And we still are. We still have a group chat that we're like always talking about. And it's always nostalgic. It's just randomly I'll be sitting in LA and I'll just get like 15 texts and I'm like, what the hell? And it's like, do you remember when blah, blah, blah? And like, it's just all the responses.
That's awesome.
And yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
Or someone will just say some weird inside joke from like 7 years ago. We all realized actually we were all at like a reunion dinner and we're like, oh my God, we should do something cool for like the 5-year anniversary.
And you missed
Oh,
it.
that'd be so great. And we're like, wait a second, it's 6 years. Oh my gosh. There's always 10.
Yeah,
so.
I was thinking we had to do something special for 10.
10's got it. 10's a thing.
Yeah.
Rent like went back.
I would at least like to do like a Real Housewives reunion with all you sitting
That
on like
would be
director's
great.
chairs or something.
Yeah, and like me and Brian are like, you, and we
Yeah,
just start
just
like someone
let
storms
it
off, and
rip.
then like Lily follows Brian, and like
That'd be
I would
awesome.
love that.
So when did Skylar? I know you played piano young. When did you first like actually like step on a stage and like have a spotlight shown on you?
My first play ever was Godspell at the Helen Hayes Youth Theater. I think they were going to make Jesus a girl until I showed up at the audition. So by default, I was awarded the lead role.
Right.
And I could always sing. I never acted before. And an amazing director named Tim McDonald. And he taught me everything to what it's like to physically embody a character. And it just like totally changed my life.
Yeah.
Because I was such a jock beforehand. I was just like a regular guy, you know.
Right.
And at first, you know, theater kids are like totally different, and it was really eye-opening at the time. And at first, I was kind of weirded out by it all, like, whoa, everyone's so expressive here.
Right.
And then I was just like, I don't want to communicate with anyone else. These people have so much more to them. They're passionate. They're like, we're all in this little secret together, and we love this like art form. I just loved it.
And you were actually in NYU when you got Spring Awakening, right?
Yes, but I did the reading of
Okay,
it like
so-
prior.
Right. So
It was,
how
like
did you
attached, I guess. Or
How did you get it? I know Michael Mayer really like went to try to find like new young people.
Yeah.
Where did he find you? Did he like pull you out of a mall or something?
Yeah, I was singing at a mall. No, I went in there, and 12 callbacks later,
You started putting that crap in your hair.
you know, I'm moosing my hair every night and hitting Broadway. It's like a crazy story.
Can we think of some more dream? Let's think about some of your past co-stars. You've worked with some great people.
Yes.
And I love the Sunday in the Park with George idea. I want to get that in the books.
Okay. It is. It's inked.
Can we think of some more with people you've worked with in the past?
Sure.
What about something you could do with Amy Poehler, who was in Hamlet too? Do you have any ideas for her?
I would love to do like a Christopher Durang play or something like that with her. You know what I mean?
That's good. I like that.
I don't know which one.
Maybe he could still write one.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm into doing original work.
Yeah, Mr. Durang, why don't you get on that?
Mr. Durang.
Two great talents. What about Mr. Aaron Tveit, who you did Rent?
Yes.
Hollywood Bowl. How'd that go? That was fun.
Phenomenal.
Yeah.
It's like a crazy dream that you like. It's like this stirring eight rehearsals. You know,
Yeah.
it's like a concert. They treat it like a reading, like,
Yeah.
but it's for 20,000 people, and it's on YouTube a minute later. You know, after the dress rehearsal, like
Right.
you know, and I'm like, that was 10 a.m. We'd never run it. You know, the lights weren't on, and that's how the majority of the people in the world see it.
That's why you
So,
don't YouTube yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
Because of that tape of Rent.
Exactly.
So you and Aaron, let's get you and Aaron in something together. Can you think of anything there other than Rent?
Oh my gosh. Secret Garden? I don't know. I just want to sing Lily's Eyes with him.
Okay, yeah.
I do Les Mis with him. You know?
So you would play Marius?
Well, he's done Angela already, so
Yeah.
maybe I'll borrow it
Yeah.
and he'll do Marius.
Okay.
Or I'll play any role in that show.
Okay. How could we get Rebel Wilson to Broadway? What could you do with her?
She wants to do Broadway.
Oh,
big
really?
time. She wants me and her to do a Little Shop of Horrors remake.
Oh.
I don't know if it's for Broadway, though. I think she wants to do a film.
She wants to do a film of Little
She's
Shop
been-
with you. She wants to be
she's like-
Audrey.
Yeah. She wants to lose 100 pounds for it.
For real?
Swear. She's been saying this to me since we were on set. She's like, I want you to be Seymour, and I will do it.
That's awesome.
So
100 pounds, Jesus.
I love her as she is. I think she's so beautiful. So
Yeah.
I would love if she didn't. But to her, I think she thinks it should be more of a petite kind of a thing.
Right.
And she believes she can get there. I'm like, that's great. Whatever you want to do. I was in a tube sock in my last movie. I had to do some weird things to do that.
So other than doing like a smash thing on stage, what could you do with Groff?
I would do anything with John Groff.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's kind of like the nicest guy on the planet.
On the planet,
Right.
he literally is Jesus Christ meets Superman. It's like weird. I literally, he's the kind of actor that when you're on stage, even though our encounters in Spring Awakening together were brief, they were like almost what I looked forward to most in the show, because his focus and his energy, he like stares not only into your eyes but like through them, and it just like pierces you. So I would love to do like I would love to do anything with him, but I would love to do like a really intense drama, because I think he would make me even better. And I love him so much that I know that connection would be there. I would love to play his like brother in something. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Okay.
All right, let's do that.
So write that. Who
Let's
would
do
write that?
Thinking about theater? Do you want to do another? Are we going to see you on stage?
As you can tell, as I'm like literally
like we-
pitching everything to
Do you
yeah.
want to? Do you want to come back and do a play?
Badly.
I know you're busy, but
Yeah.
you're filming another movie too, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're just movie after movie.
Right. You know, it's whatever happens first. You
But
know.
you're open. You're open to Durang. You're open
100%.
to this Sunday in the Park years from now, and
Yeah.
you're open to coming
And
back.
Stephen Sondheim and Christopher Durang really need me. You know, that's the thing is like, I am always humbled by like, you know, those geniuses. And,
Yeah.
and like I would die to, you know, it's a lifelong dream to do something like that.
I know another lifelong dream that you're not getting to fulfill right now.
What is that?
I'll bet you wish you were Constantine Maroulis.
In Jekyll and Hyde.
Because you were like obsessed with that show when you were a kid,
How
weren't
did you
you?
know that? Did you
Because
dig that
I
up?
look it up.
Jekyll and Hyde made me want to become an actor when I was a kid.
That's hilarious.
And more specifically, Robert Cuccioli.
Yeah, yeah.
When I was watching him do the transition, I was 9 years old, front row, being like, that is crazy that one man is producing both of those things. And I know some people give that show, you know, flack for being a little, having corny elements.
over the
'cause
top.
It's Jekyll and Hyde the musical. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a crazy concept, but I'm a sucker for Frank Wildhorn. I love his music, and I love that show.
I hope that we see you in these parts again. I know that you're
too.
living the life. I know you're living the life, but don't forget about us.
I never will. I'm coming back next week and doing another one of these.
All right, we're gonna do this weekly.
Mark my words.
Work on those songs, those last 5 years songs.
I will.
So everyone, check out 21 and Over. It's really, really a funny movie. I highly recommend it. And thank you so much for coming. It's so
My
good
pleasure.
to see you again.
Blast. Blast
Awesome.
in a glass.
Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.